Next, Raffi, Wolfe. Hey, Raffi.
Earlier this year, I published a book about the homeless, and I will be selling it down the bar during intermission. And I just wrote an update. The book, with my classic sarcasm, is called Rent Free. Rent Free Revisited. March 1989. I was making deliveries on my part-time job, and I saw a man sitting on the sidewalk with a paper cup in front of him and a sign around his neck. I forget what the sign said. He told me he did day and labor jobs, but still had to do this sometimes to eat. It was no surprise to me. I walked on, met a young man passing out flyers. He asked me about the guy with the sign, and I answered him by... He asked me about the guy with the sign. It was clear he had a suspicion of people who asked for money on the street. I answered by telling him about myself. I told him I was on SSI because I couldn't, yet, hold down a full-time job. I wasn't quite over my anxiety disorder. I told him the things that keep me from full-time employment are, to be frank, childish, but the nature of a disorder is that where other people can simply say, "This is immature, I'll knock it off," you can't. What other people can take in their stride is overwhelming to you. To put it another way, I said, it's normal problems with higher normal voltage. I also told him how much self-hatred I had felt until I had finally gotten my present 20-hour-a-week job, which I've had for over a year. When I had finished, he said he understood the man better. I'm glad. There's a lot more I could have said. The man may have started on drugs when he was a teenager because he thought it was cool. He may have gone through years of kicking the habit and was still just beginning to believe in himself, enough to do day labor. Might have been alcohol. Might have been Vietnam. I read somewhere that Vietnam vets are sick of being portrayed as half-crazed losers, but some do have the struggle. It's the struggle of, for whatever reason, not being able to do what comes naturally to the rest, because something you can't control is holding you back. Make up for the heaviness of the past half hour. Every time I write something in self-pity, it turns out to be funny. I hate the welfare office. It's a place guaranteed to rob you of your self-esteem.
Amen.
First, no matter how early you get there, you have to wait for an hour. You're no shape to deal with those bureaucrats after an hour of waiting. That's why they do it. Everyone knows waiting has a bad effect on your emotions. The Church of Scientology told me that. Then there's the posters from the Department of Agriculture telling you about the 4 basic food groups. They really want to make sure you eat your veggies, don't they? I mean, I know I like the self-discipline to eat 3 square meals a day, but they don't have to rub my nose in it. And finally, there's the posters about job training programs. Talk about psychological pressure. If I could hold down a job, I wouldn't be there. That's my problem. Like they're saying, come on, Raffi, fail at something else, just for me.
You already sing 2 and save time as